Hannah Leighton, 34, divorced her husband after 8 years of mental abuse. Now she is a single mother of a 6-year-old girl, Mia, currently working as an emergency nurse at a large hospital in Austin, Texas. She had to send her daughter back to her hometown of Waco to be looked after by her grandparents. Without a husband by her side, she had to leave her poor little child to work hard to make a living, all for her future, for her child's future. Although she knows her mother, Linda Leighton, is a traditional woman, living for pride and the belief that sons are the pillars. She likes to pretend to sacrifice, but is actually controlling and calculating. Her father, George Leighton, is quiet, weak, always on his wife's side, never rebelling. Plus her younger brother, Liam Leighton, 29 years old, pampered since childhood, unemployed, but still considered the family's only hope. Just engaged to a girl from a wealthy family. No one in her family respected her, even hated her after her divorce, but she had no choice but to send her daughter back. She sacrificed them. They would not treat this innocent child badly because of her mother. On Friday afternoon, Hannah Leighton drove her old Ford Focus from Austin to the town of Waco. The early spring wind caressed the bare trees, the red dust on both sides of the road. The field stretched endlessly as if there was no end. She did not tell anyone that she was coming back. She did not tell her parents in advance. She did not tell her younger brother, Liam. This trip was not in the plan. It started with just a feeling of unease. Last week, Mia, her daughter, called in the middle of the night. The little girl's voice trembled. "Mommy, I miss you. It's cold here, and Grandma won't let me hug my teddy bear to sleep anymore." At that moment, Hannah could only swallow. "Mommy's almost done with work, honey. I'll be back with you soon, okay?" The one-story wooden house at the end of the alley on Walnut Street was still the same. The paint was peeling. The windows were taped shut to block the wind. Wildflowers grew wild in the front yard, as if no one had ever taken care of them. Hannah got out of the car, picked up her bag, and with trembling hands pushed open the old gate. The smell of rotten grass, wood dust, and memories hit her face like a slap. She had grown up here. She had believed that this was home, until she understood that there were houses that only knew how to love what they created, not their own children. Mia was sitting huddled on the porch, wearing an oversized sweater, her hair messy, hugging her pillow. Seeing her mother, she didn't run into her arms like usual. Just looked up, her eyes were blank as if she couldn't believe it. Mom's really back? Hannah was stunned. She knelt down, hugging her child. Mom's back. Mom's here. Mia started to cry, not sobbing, but sobbing like water overflowing from a small crack. Linda, Hannah's mother, walked in from the kitchen. "Oh, you came back without warning. It's not very polite, Hannah." "No question. Are you tired from the journey?" No welcoming arms. George, her father, stood silently behind, not looking straight into his daughter's eyes. On the dining table, a full tray of food, but only 3 bowls. "We thought you weren't coming back, so we didn't cook any. My daughter has eaten." "Not much." She made a mess, spilled milk all over the table. Emily was angry. She was punished. "Emily." Hannah turned her head. The blonde girl, lightly made up, was coming out of the bedroom, wearing a thin silk nightgown. "Oh, Hannah's back? I didn't know you were a member of this family." The words were soft, but the edge of the honey was hidden. Mia's old room had been locked. The teddy bear was taken away. The coloring books were gone. Mia now slept in the same bed as her grandmother, but she had to lie on the edge because Emily needed quiet. Mia's meals were no longer soup made by her mother, but instant noodles, cold sandwiches, and expired cookies when she was good. All of this, Hannah had never seen on camera or video call, because Mia had learned to keep quiet so as not to be hated. That night, while the family gathered to watch TV, Hannah went into the kitchen. She turned on the computer, logged into her bank account. She quietly opened the statistics table. $1,600 transferred to her mother's account every month for the past 14 months, a total of more than $20,000. She looked around. The house was not renovated. The kitchen was still leaking water. Mia lacked basic necessities. She turned to Linda. "What did you use the money I sent you for?" Linda kept her eyes on the screen. "To raise Mia, buy things, fix the house, pay for electricity and water, everything." Hannah growled, "Tell me the truth." George turned to his wife for the first time, but then bowed his head. Emily glanced over absent-mindedly, pursed her lips. Liam walked in from the hallway, scratching his head. "Why are you asking about all that? You raised your child, and now you're asking for money." Hannah turned around. "You used that money to put down a deposit on the apartment, right?" Silence. No one denied it. And in that moment, Hannah understood. Her daughter was just an excuse for them to get money. Blood ties were just a name. This family had never really wanted her back. That night, Hannah lay next to Mia in the living room because all the rooms were occupied. She held her little daughter, her thin back protruding as if to pierce her mother's heart. She whispered, "I'm sorry for leaving you here for so long." Mia moved closer to her mother, whispering, "Don't go anymore." Outside, the wind howled through the cracks in the door. But inside Hannah, a fire had just ignited. This time, she would not forgive. She would not be silent. And she would not leave her child behind again. Hannah couldn't sleep. Mia was fast asleep in her mother's arms, but inside her was a screaming silence. How long had it been since she had last lain next to her son like this? The yellow nightlight cast a weak light on the cracked ceiling. Those ceilings, just like her memories, full of cracks, stained, and no one cared to fix them. When Hannah was young, she thought her mother was the most devoted woman. Linda woke up early to cook, do the laundry, and teach her children. But when she grew up, Hannah realized clearly. To her, every request was try harder. As for Liam, every mistake was forgiven as it's okay for boys to be a little naughty. When she won her first scholarship, her mother only said, "Good. But don't be complacent. Focus on studying to set an example for your brother." When Liam was kicked off the football team for fighting, his mother cried. He was misunderstood. He had too much pressure. When Hannah took the medical entrance exam, her mother said, "Studying medicine is hard. How will I be able to handle it when I have a husband and children?" And when Liam said he wanted to try opening a gym after dropping out of college, her mother said, "Yeah, it's good to try. I support it." Hannah married Josh at the age of 24. A quiet, polite man, at least to outsiders. But at home, he gradually revealed his true colors. Blindly jealous, managing every penny, forcing Hannah to quit her job because women don't need to go out and earn money. Every time she talked about it with her mother, Linda would just reply, "All men are like that. Be patient, you can keep the family together." Every time she broke down in tears, her mother did not comfort her, only asked, "Are you going to leave your husband? After the divorce, who will marry you?" The whole family will lose face. The day Hannah filed for divorce, Linda stood in front of the house and slapped her in the face. "You are such a woman who can't endure." Hannah did not cry. She just looked straight at her mother. "If you don't endure anymore, I will lose face in front of the neighbors. But at least, my daughter won't have to grow up like you." Linda trembled, speechless. George just stood there, silent as always. After the divorce, Hannah took her child to Austin, starting over. Working as an emergency nurse, night shift, off shift, holiday shift. The money was not abundant, but enough to live on. More importantly, she could support Mia on her own. But at one point, when her job required her to work long shifts, Mia began to weaken due to her unstable schedule. She had to send her child back to her parents' house, in the illusion that they would love her, that their blood would protect her. Now, sitting in the house that she once called her home, Hannah realized, "My mother never really loved me. She only loved the image of me that she wanted me to become. My father never protected me. He only nodded to my mother. My brother is not the most blameworthy, because he was never taught to love anyone but himself." And all that she had accepted, because she thought that family was something that had to be kept at all costs. But now, looking at Mia, thin, resigned, timid, Hannah saw that the price was too high. The next morning, when her mother asked, "How long do you plan to stay here? You still have to prepare for your sister's engagement," Hannah only replied, "Long enough for me to take my daughter away from here forever." She did not scream. She did not cry. She did not need anyone's approval. She just wanted her daughter to not grow up like her mother did. And that was enough to start a war. Monday morning, Hannah sat in the kitchen, making Mia an omelet and toast, the first time she had cooked for her child in months. Mia sat silently in her high chair, her dark eyes avoiding her grandmother's gaze. Linda walked in, frowning. "Why are you feeding her eggs in the morning? She's prone to bloating. She threw up a few days ago because of eggs." Hannah looked at Mia, gently asking, "Does your stomach hurt when you eat eggs?" Mia shook her head very slightly. Linda frowned, turned and walked out. That slip of the tongue, and Mia's small reaction, was enough to deepen Hannah's suspicions about what was really going on in this house. Liam woke up at 10 a.m., stretched and yawned. "Did anyone make coffee this morning?" Emily came out of the room, handing him a steaming latte. "Sleep a little longer. We don't have any house viewings today." Hannah was silent. A familiar sight surrounded her. A man in his late 30s who had never had a steady job, but was always praised by his mother as ambitious. A future bride who was treated like a queen by the whole family. And a little girl, her child, who was treated as a temporary housemaid. That afternoon, as Hannah prepared to feed Mia, Emily spoke up. "She seems very stubborn. I kept telling her, but she didn't answer. Mom said we should cut her playing time when she was naughty." Linda continued. "She often sits and draws random things, taking up the table. One day, Mom told her to go sit on the porch, but she still stayed there." George, Hannah's father, sat still, saying nothing. Just like he had for decades, he always chose silence. Hannah put her spoon down on the table, gently clenching her fist. That night, while folding Mia's clothes, Hannah asked, "Where's your brownie? Remember how much you love her." Mia hesitated, her eyes welling up. And Emily said, "I'm grown up. I don't need a bear anymore. So, I'll give it to the neighbor's baby." Hannah stiffened. Brownie, the 5th birthday present she had painstakingly ordered from California. A chocolate stuffed bear with Mia's name embroidered on a red scarf had been thrown away without a word of consultation. Mia sat against the wall, whispering, "Mommy, don't be angry." Because I didn't dare say anything. Hannah pulled her child into her arms. "It's okay, but from now on, you can tell me anything. Anything, okay?" That night, Hannah secretly recorded the conversation between her mother and Emily when they thought she was asleep. It's actually a bit better. Hannah sends money regularly, and she doesn't spend much on that kid. Yeah, and Liam is worried too. It's right for him to take on the family instead of his divorced sister. He's a smart kid. Buying a house at the right time and having Emily is a blessing for 3 generations. Hannah gritted her teeth. Her hands trembled. Each word, each sentence, was like a nail hammered into the memories she had tried to forget. She, a single mother, working hard day and night, was called a burden. Her daughter was reduced to just that brat. And Liam, a person who had never lived a responsible life, was seen as her only pride. The next morning, Hannah went out for 30 minutes to go shopping. When she returned, she found the front door ajar, the house dead silent. She called out, "Mia, where are you?" No one answered. Hannah ran to Emily's room. The door was locked. She ran to the back of the kitchen. No one was there. Finally, when she opened the cupboard under the stairs, she saw Mia huddled in the dark. The girl's eyes were red. Her mouth was pouting. I dropped the glass. Grandma said I was naughty. Grandma said I needed to think. Hannah carried her child out, her hands shaking. That night, Hannah sat alone at the dining table. On the table were a recording, a picture of Mia locked in the locker, a bank statement, a handwritten letter to the social worker. She was no longer angry. There was only clarity. Tomorrow, I will end this. I will take back everything that belongs to my child. And if this family did not want to see the truth, she would make them face it. The sky in Waco was clear. In front of Leighton's house, the tent was magnificently set up. Balloons, wedding flowers, the banquet table was covered with a pure white tablecloth. Linda was bustling around, her mouth constantly reminding, "Be careful. This is Liam's big day, it has to be perfect." Emily was adjusting her makeup in the mirror, her hand never leaving her phone. Liam, wearing a white shirt, grinned at his old classmates who were standing smoking in front of the gate. No one noticed. In a quiet corner of the house, Hannah was preparing for the final battle. Hannah walked in just as the music started. She was wearing a modest blue-gray dress, her hair neatly tied up. Holding Mia by the hand, a simple white dress, her hair neatly braided. Her arm holding a new teddy bear. A murmur rose. "Oh, is that the groom's sister? I heard she's divorced." "Wait, why are you just showing up now?" Linda stepped out, her face stiff. "What are you doing here?" Hannah smiled. Her smile was no longer gentle, coming to congratulate my brother, and to share a few things about my family. As the MC began to speak, Hannah took the microphone. "Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to share a few things, not just as the groom's sister, but as a mother." The buzz spread throughout the theater. Hannah pulled out her phone, connected the Bluetooth speaker. The recording rang out. Hannah's money is enough to pay for the apartment in advance, as long as Emily doesn't know. She made a mess. Spilled milk all over the table. Emily got angry. She got punished. "You don't have much to raise." The theater fell silent. Emily paled. Liam backed away. Linda shouted. "Turn it off." "What are you doing?" Hannah calmly said, "I just want everyone who came here today to know. The person you are celebrating, who made this whole ceremony happen, was paid for by a single mother who worked as a nurse day and night in the emergency room. The money I sent home to raise my child, but it was taken to buy a house for my sister to get married. And my daughter, locked in a closet, forbidden to eat, all her toys taken away. Just because she is a grandchild and a child born to a divorced mother." Linda's face turned pale, trembling. George, Hannah's father, stood up for the first time, but still didn't say anything. Emily threw down the wedding bouquet, hissing, "Liam, you lied to me. This house is all fake." Liam grabbed Emily's hand. No. I don't think about such a small thing." Emily slapped him like a thunderbolt and walked away amidst the crowd filming the clip. Hannah pulled out her bag. A separate household registration certificate for her and Mia. A school transfer certificate for her child. A child welfare office application. A financial statement. A power of attorney. "I came to declare that from today on, my daughter has nothing to do with this family. I am no longer a humble daughter. I am no longer a child who has to endure to save face for anyone." She bowed her head. "Thank you for listening." Then she led Mia out of the wedding hall. No turning back. Not a word of apology. Not a tear. Driving back to Austin, Hannah stopped by a field of wildflowers. Mia leaned over, looking at the flowers in the wind, then said, "Mom, do we still have a home?" Hannah smiled. "Yes, I do. Home is where you and I are. No one needs permission." 2 days after the engagement was broken, Waco was no longer a quiet place. The news of a wedding destroyed at the engagement spread like wildfire. Neighbors gossiped. Relatives took pictures and posted them online. Local students created memes from Hannah's remarks. The house at 18 Walnut Street, once considered the pride of the Leighton family, now became a symbol of a family torn apart by lies. Emily called off the engagement. Her family demanded a full refund of the organization costs. The contract to buy a condo was canceled due to insufficient funds. Liam screamed, smashed the TV, and yelled at his mother. "You promised you would take care of it. How could you let me lose everything?" Linda, for the first time, did not have the strength to scream back. She just sat slumped by the kitchen. Her eyes sunken, her hair noticeably graying in just a few days. George disappeared from the house, leaving only a handwritten note. "I need some quiet time. Please don't look for me." She stayed in her room for a whole week. Didn't eat. Didn't talk. Relatives who came to visit just shook their heads. She must be in shock. But who told her to defend her son so much? For the first time in her life, Linda felt truly alone. No one listened to her anymore. No one believed the "I love you so much" arguments anymore. She looked up at the ceiling, the cracks, like her daughter's trust, could not be repaired. In Austin, Hannah and Mia moved into a third-floor apartment in a small lakeside neighborhood. Old, but sunny. Every morning, Hannah made coffee, opened the window, and watched her daughter eat breakfast, a piece she had not had in the past 6 years. She enrolled Mia in the local elementary school. Every day, she walked her daughter through the park, taught Mia to read signs, told stories about nurses who had super healing powers. Mia smiled more, started drawing again, and slept better at night. Hannah didn't call her mother back. She didn't check her brother's messages. She didn't email her father. Instead, she spent her time blogging. on how to recognize signs of abuse in your own family, on the need to choose yourself, even when you're alone. The first post was shared thousands of times. A woman in Georgia wrote, "Thank you. I was beaten by my own mother for not being able to keep my husband. I thought I was the only one." A week later, Hannah received a handwritten letter from Waco. It was Linda. "I don't know where to start. All I know is I was wrong. I thought loving you meant saving your face. But I should have saved your heart first. If you never forgive me, I understand. But I still hope to see you once when you feel okay." Hannah read the last line, her eyes stinging. She folded the letter, put it in a drawer, not tearing it, not replying. Forgiveness is not a gift everyone deserves to receive right away. But she knew she was no longer angry. It was just that she no longer had faith to put back. That afternoon, Mia brought out a picture. There were two people, mother and child, standing next to a small house. In the background was the sun, wildflowers, and a teddy bear named Bruno. Mia said, "Mommy, is this our house?" Hannah nodded, hugging her child. "Yes, honey, our house. It doesn't have to be big, just safe." June in Austin brings a bright yellow sun, not as harsh as Waco, but warm and full of life. Every morning, Hannah takes Mia to elementary school. On the way, mother and daughter stop by the corner coffee shop, ordering the usual. A cup of unsweetened latte for Mom, a small cup of banana milk, and a muffin for Mia. She likes to sit by the window, watching the dogs being walked, occasionally whispering, "I don't want to be far from you anymore." Hannah just smiles, doesn't need to say anything. All the promises in this world are not as strong as the days of living together. At night, Hannah cooks dinner, turns on soft jazz music. Mother and daughter fold clothes, wash dishes, color together. There is no shouting, no comparison, no hateful looks or sighs of, "Why are you not like everyone else?" Only laughter, small voices, and peaceful breathing. She began writing a book, a collection of short stories for single mothers. The title she chose, Houses Without Gates. One night, after Mia had gone to bed, Hannah wrote a letter. Not to her mother, or her father, or Liam, but to her 10-year-old self. The age when she stood behind the door, holding her excellent report card, and her mother asked, "Where's your sister? Why don't you bring her a carton of milk?" The letter read, "Little Hannah, you don't have to try to be the perfect girl to be loved. You don't have to keep quiet to keep a false peace. You deserve to be heard, even when you say things no one wants to hear. And the day will come when you're no longer there, and you'll build a home that no one can throw you out of." A week later, Liam called. His voice was confused. "How are you? I just wanted to ask, can you help me get into Austin Hospital? Do you know anyone?" Hannah looked at the screen and sighed. "Liam, I think you need to learn how to ask for help from others, not drag them back into the hole you've dug yourself. I'm not there anymore, and I'm never coming back." She hung up. Not angry, not regretful, just grown up. At the end of year ceremony, Hannah sat among the parents, watching Mia walk up to the stage to receive the award, a loving student who always helps her friends. She took the microphone and said timidly, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you for always being there for me, even when no one else did." The hall was silent. Hannah burst into tears. That night, mother and daughter lay on the sofa, hugging each other. Mia asked, "Mom, can I name our house?" Hannah smiled. "Yes. What name do you like?" Mia hugged her pillow and whispered, "The Sun House." because it's always sunny here, even if it's raining outside." Hannah gently stroked her daughter's hair. "Then welcome to the Sun House, where you can always be yourself." Outside, the first rain of the season fell gently. In Hannah's heart, the sun had risen,